Hi guys, welcome back to my video class. On this video, we are going to be working on the last two pages, pages 7 and 8. And so for that, I'm going to start with two pieces of lightweight cardstock. These two pieces at 8 by 6. So these are basically the same pieces that we did when we created that pop-up on the previous pages. So let's go ahead and we're going to do the same mechanism, but it's going to be a little bit different. So we're going to score along the 8-inch side at 2, 4, and 6. And then along the 6-inch side, we're going to do 1.5, 3, and 4.5. So these steps are the same as the ones we did before. So I'm just going to repeat that on this second piece. Okay, so along the 8, we're gonna do 2, 4, and 6. And then we are going to cut out the 4 corners. Okay. So then we are going to fold these two pieces the same way we did before. So we're going to line up the top line to the left, and then we're going to do the top line to the right. Okay, and then we are going to have this X piece here on the middle, and we're going to pinch the sides here and then pull this towards you. And we are going to create this little house shape. Okay, so that's going to be one, and then we are going to do the same for this one. So then we're going to use two pieces of 4.25 by 11, and then we are going to score these pieces at 2 3/4, then at 5.5, and at 8 1/4. And I'm going to do the same for this one here: 2 3/4, 5.5, and 8 1/4. And these two pieces are heavyweight. So now I'm just going to fold along the score lines like that. And we're going to form this little W. And then the same thing here. Fold, fold here, and then fold back. Okay, so then we have these two little W pieces, and then we are going to add these two pieces in the center of these two sections like that. So you want to make sure the center of this fold is pointing out, and we're going to insert that right there. So when I insert this, I want to make sure this goes kind of up to this line. And we are going to center this, raise one of these little sections up and add your glue. And then we're going to put this down, this, and then I'm going to press. And we're going to do the same on the back. Okay, so just like that. And there you go. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. So make sure the center is pointing out. And then we're going to add that in there. And add glue behind one of the legs. And then you're going to turn this and do the glue on this one. Okay, so then we're going to fold down, and then we have our two pop-up mechanisms, and we're going to combine these two elements with the pull down waterfall feature. So let's go ahead and work on that. So we're going to need 3 pieces of 6 1/4 by 5 inches and 1 piece of 5 inches by 11. So I'm going to start with the 5 by 11 piece, and we're going to score at 3/4 inches. Then we're going to score at 1 1/2 and at 2 1/4. Okay, so we're only going to do 3 sections on this one. So we're going to fold along the score lines, just like this and like that. And then we're going to glue these pieces on each one of these score lines. So I'm going to add my glue on the first one. Okay, and then we're going to add this first piece right there. So I'm going to lay this down, make sure this is lined up. So then we're going to add glue on the second 3/4 inch section here. Okay, and then I'm going to just fold this back and add this piece. Okay, so then make sure they're lined up and just press down. And then we're going to do this other section right there. And then we're going to add this piece right here. Okay, so then we have your waterfall form. We are going to trim the last one a little bit, so I'm just going to cut. So you want to cut this whole thing at 8 3/4. So we're gonna take a little bit of the last one, which is okay because now they're all even. I'm actually gonna take a little more so they all have 3/4 inches. Okay, so there you go. And now we are going to add this piece here on the center. Now before we add that, we are going to cover this page. So I'm going to cut this piece at 7 3/4 by 8 3/4. Okay. And then I'm also going to use one of my leftover pieces of paper, so something like that. And we are going to cut this piece. I'm going to do 6 1/2, okay, by 1 1/4. Okay, so you just want a small section. And I am also going to cover this up with some design paper. So I'm going to cut this at 1 by 6 1/4. Okay, so just a little bit smaller. And we're gonna glue those 2 pieces together. Okay, so I'm just gonna add some glue here. And we're going to center this right there, like so. Okay, so there you go. And then we're going to add this here, this little belt. Now before we add the belt, I'm going to add this piece, and I just want to see where I'm gonna put my belt. So basically you want the bottom of the belt to line up to the second layer here. Okay, so I'm going to put it right there, and then we also want to center that. So here's where I want to put my belt. So I am just going to add some glue on the edges, so right there. Okay, so now I'm just going to press down on my glue, and I'm going to take this out for now. Okay, so that's where you want that. So then we're going to secure this belt by using some brads. So I'm going to poke 2 holes So make sure that you are really close to the edge again. Okay, on that belt. So one will be right there. And the other one, I'm just gonna put right here. Okay, and then for this one, I'm going to actually use some prettier brads. And so I think I'm going to use these little birds, and so cute. So I'm going to use a pink and a blue, and I'm going to add that right here. Okay, so I added my two little brads, and now I'm just going to glue this whole thing down. Okay, so I'm just gonna add my glue, and we're going to put this right here. Okay, so there you go. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is add the waterfall. So we're gonna open this up and slide this in. Okay, so again, you're going to kind of level that second layer to the bottom of the belt, and I'm gonna put that right here. And then I'm going to open this up and add glue on this section here. Okay, so we're just gonna add our glue, and then we're gonna close this piece and press down. Okay, so just like that. Okay, so then we're gonna wait for that to dry, and we're going to test our pull down. So you see that that works, and we're gonna add a closure to this pull down too. But first, let's go ahead and add these pieces. Now for these ones, I'm going to trim a little bit here on the top, because you want to make sure this is not coming out like that. Okay, so all of these little top section from the score line to the top is basically a little extra. You don't really need all of that. So I'm just going to take about 1/2 inch out and just make it flat like that as well. And then same thing for this one. Okay, so we're gonna take that out just like that. Make sure it's even though. Okay, so I'm going to pull this open, and we are going to add one of these pieces here. Okay, and I'm going to, here first we're gonna add glue on the back. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue the whole thing and line it up here. So you can lay these flat, so you can press down on it. Make sure it's on the center so nothing's coming out. Okay, so more up here, and then I'm going to add glue on this side, and then we're going to close this. Okay, so just slide this up, press down, and close that. We're gonna open up these two, and then I'm going to add the second one here. Okay, so I'm just gonna add my glue and glue this. Okay, so I'm just gonna add glue on this other side, and then I'm going to close this whole thing. And then I'm just going to press down, and I'm going to wait for this to dry. On the meantime, I'm going to use a piece. This is 5 inches by 8.5, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch along the 8.5 inch side, and then we're going to fold along the score line, and this is going to be the closure. So we're gonna add this piece to the last piece here, which is the one that is the pull down. So I'm going to glue this section here. Okay, and I'm just going to line this up to the last one. Okay, there you go. And then I'm going to press down, and then of course we're going to use a magnet over here. So I'm going to add the magnets up here on the top or the bottom, and I'm going to secure that in there, and then I'm going to add the other one. Okay, so some glue in here as well, and then we're gonna close this. Okay, so that's gonna be the closure. So now we can go ahead and try this. So we're gonna open that up. I'm going to hold the second one just so I allow the first one to open up really good, and then we see the pop-up, and then I'm going to pull down on the second one, and again you can press down so it can open all the way, and then you see the second pop-up. So I think this turned out super fun. So I'm going to use this piece here, and we're going to cut this at 4 3/4. Okay, and then I'm going to just do about 3/4 inches here, this little piece, so I can put on the back, so this can look like one seam. And then we have to trim this one down to 7 3/4. Okay, so then that's going to look like this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these pieces. So then we're done with this page, and now we're going to work on the back. So for the back, I'm just going to keep that one pretty simple since this one was quite bulky. So I am going to do like a double pocket, because if you're using this book as a birthday, you might want to store some birthday cards or things like that. So I also want to use this piece. So I'm going to cut this area on the bottom. Okay, and then you want to make sure this measures 7 3/4 right here. So I'm going to use a piece of 9 inches by 4, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch along the 4 inches, and then I'm going to score at 1/2 and at 8 1/2. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom of the pocket, and then you want to cut out the corners like that. And then for the second piece, we are just going to cut a piece of 4 1/2 by 9 inches, which is the remainder of that page, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch and at 8 1/2. And then we are going to fold along the score lines. Okay, so 1 and 2, and then I'm going to bring my page, and we're going to add this one right there, kind of in the middle, and I'm going to glue here on these two sides, and I'm just going to add this piece right there, and then I'm going to press down. Okay, there you go. And then I'm going to use the second piece, fold along the score lines, 1 2 and 1 more, and then we're going to glue this on top. Okay, so I'm going to glue on this section and here, and then back here. Okay, so make sure you get the corners really good for the pockets. And now we're just going to add this piece and press down, and there you go. Okay, and then to decorate this pocket, I am simply going to use this little leftover piece, and then I have a lot of these pieces, so you can use that side or this. I think I like this side, this color. And let me see, I have different ones, so even this one will work really pretty as well. And there you go. So now we're done with the last 2 pages, and now we can go ahead and add these pages into our book. So now we're going to add our pages onto our book. So for that, the first thing we're going to do is peel off the tape, and then you want to put this to the side like that so it's easy to pull out. And then we're going to find the center. So the center will be the base page that we created. And so you want to make sure you have these on the right place. And then we're going to insert that here. And okay, let me make sure this goes in where it needs to go. And there you go. So then you don't want to push this all the way in. You want to place it just on top of the tape right there. So I'm going to press down, and then I'm going to pull this piece, and there you go. Now we're going to turn this to the back, and we are just going to use our little hook and pull out the tape from the back, and then just remove the whole thing. And there you go. So now you can open this up and press down here also. Okay, and then we are going to do the same with the next pages. So I'm just going to continue here, peeling off the tape. Now I put some paper clips so this is not opening, but I think that's fine. So I'm just going to find the center here, and I'm going to just insert this. Oops. Okay, so make sure nothing's getting on the back, and there you go. So you want to put it right on top of the tape, just like that. Then I'm going to press down and remove this tape, and then we're going to take off the tape from the back and press down. Okay, and then we are going to do the same with the next one. And again, I'm going to find the center, and add this right here. Okay, center this up and down as well, and then we're just going to remove the tape. Okay, and then I'm going to take out tape on the back. There you go. And I'm just going to put this on the center, and then the last one. Okay, so take out the tape, and then I'm going to add this last page. Okay, so press down, take that out, and then we're going to take out tape on the back, and there you go. So there you go. So now we have our pages added onto our book, and the last thing that we are going to do is work on the inside covers.